In this section, we're going to look at working with notifications and images. We'll start with this video, which is an overview of notifications. Then we'll see how to create a simple notification with a hands-on demo. Then we'll see how to add an image of a shortcut by accessing the image gallery. We did a lot of permissions work for this in our very last section. We'll see how to implement a file provider, and then we'll see how to capture an image and associate it with a shortcut. Let's start with this notifications overview. We're going to talk about what a notification is, how to use the builder pattern to create a notification, what's new in Android P, and a little bit on style. First of all, a notification. This is something that will typically be broadcast by an application onto your device. So I have just a little dummy mock-up here, and I know it's a little hard to read that label, but big picture style notifications. I choose Notify. We'll hear a little sound, and then we'll see an icon on the top that indicates there is a notification, and then we can pull it down and we can take a look. And in this case, just a little dummy notification I've created with a title and a timestamp and some text, and then an image of a paw print. So the notification is one of these things that you pull down from the top of your application. So what are the components that make up this notification in the user interface? Well, let's take a look. We're going to start with a small icon, which is optionally in this upper left-hand corner. And the method to put an icon there is simply set small icon. Then an app name is provided by the system, and we'll see that in the box that follows. And then after that, we'll see a timestamp that you can alter with set when and set show when. So if you take a look at this notification that I've just created, you see there's where the icon goes, there's the name of the application, and then there's the timestamp after that. So the next thing we need to take a look at is what's below that. So below that, we have the content title, which in the case of the notification I'm showing here is foo. And below that, we have any kind of text that comes along with the notification, which in this case is bar. Now, in this case, we have a big picture notification, and actually, I have it coming over here to the right, but actually we see in reality, the picture goes under all of the other text. So you see big picture here, a paw print goes under the title and the content, so on and so forth. So we use a builder to create these notifications, and the builder pattern is a well-known pattern, one of the gang of four patterns. It's often used when you have a lot of options that a user can choose from. So what you do is you take all these options, you put them all together in a series of method calls, and then you say build when all of the options have been registered. So similar to a car or a value meal where there's a lot of variability in what it's actually comprised of. In our case for notifications, these things that can be added are the title, content, the small icon, the style, and before Android 8 you could also add priority. We have a different way to do priority now, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So builder design pattern, we've talked a bit about, one that's becoming a bit more frequent now. You see it used in things like Google Maps, and a lot of the Google API clients use that builder pattern. Now notification compat is the class that has this builder, and that allows us to do some type of backward compatibility on our notifications. Now, a few things that are new in Android P. You can assign notifications to a notification channel, and you can give that channel some type of importance. A lot of this is to help the user to set some do not disturb. So in other words, you can silence all notifications, but then call out an exception for a certain type of notification. I can think of a really good use of this. Now, do not disturb goes into the traditional sense of just silence the phone, but now there's also some visual do not disturb, which means do we want to turn any lights on the device, or we want to light up the screen, or do we not want to do that? So you see there's also this concept of visual do not disturb. Notification channels, we hinted on this a little bit in the previous slide, so the user can create custom channels. And that's where I would say put everything into one channel, except anything that I get from work that's going to wake me up in the middle of the night when I need to be woken up. Now, the user can block these channels as well, so the user can say, okay, I'm going to block this channel from giving me notifications. You can check this programmatically by using the isBlocked method to see if the channel that your app is subscribed to is blocked. This is also a nice case for a broadcast receiver because theoretically a user could block and unblock at any time, and so you can subscribe to intents that tell you whether this is blocked or unblocked. And you can change behavior based on it being blocked or unblocked. And then, as we mentioned a couple times, A user can choose a channel that bypasses Do Not Disturb for something like, wake me up if I get paged by work, or I want to unblock my phone number, or something like that. So it gives the user a lot more control over what will wake the user up and what will let the user keep sleeping. Style. So there are several new styles. There's a big text style, which will show text in naturally bigger. Big picture style I showed just a moment ago. That's where you can actually put a fairly good sized picture inside of a notification. Inbox style is pretty neat because it lets us kind of do an email-like conversation. Messaging style to send a message, and also media style to do some multi-purpose media. So notifications are one of the big things that have improved and enhanced in Android Pie and Greater.